Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, a.k.a. PD Beats.
Hello, welcome to the Popternative Podcast. This is the podcast where we have digital discussions in the worlds of pop culture, social media, sports, hockey. We're going to be snapping our fingers, and then boom, hockey season's going to be started. And we're speaking to a Popternative returning guest. We're speaking to Goaltender, was drafted and signed by the Mississauga Steelheads in the Ontario Hockey League, Joe Ranger. Joe, welcome back to Popternative.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy to be back.
No problem. Right off the bat, we didn't get a chance last time you were on to talk about the OHL draft, but kind of take us through that day, when you found out, the reception from, the reaction from your family and friends. It must have just been crazy.
Yeah, well, actually in the morning I was on the ice with the Junior A team with Place Junior A, and I was pretty anxious then. I was like, oh, come on, the one day is the draft and I have to go on. But it was a lot of fun going on the ice with those guys, and it really took my mind off things. So I was happy to go out, and I got changed as fast as I could, went home, and we pretty much just sat in front of the TV. And I remember seeing some buddies like Cedar and, Ty, Kyle, all those guys around the league. I see them go, just texting them. And then I got up to let my cat out the door, and then my mom yelled up, "Joe Ranger, Mississauga Steelheads." And it was probably one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of. And, just everything come together. It was just crazy. It was awesome.
And an organization that's had some very good success in the past, and some good players have come out of that organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Hopefully to have a mentor like Jacob Ingham, that'd be such a great experience, kind of see how he works himself, and on ice, off ice. I think that'd be really good.
Absolutely. It's going to be, regardless of how it is, it's going to be overwhelming. A 16-year-old playing in the Ontario Hockey League. Not many people get the opportunity to do that. Are you just kind of embracing it and just going with the flow at this point, Joe?
Yeah, well, kind of getting closer to camp, I start to feel a little bit more nervous. But, I just keep telling myself, all you have to do is stop the puck. And that's what it comes down to. And I think the organization and the team and all the players will be really, supporting and make me feel at home, and I'm really excited just to live the dream, right?
No, absolutely. So, gotta talk about something that happened this summer. We know you're all about the social media, and
yeah.
I'm surprised the lawn mowing one didn't go viral first, man. I wasn't that surprised with the second one, but tell our listeners and viewers what I'm talking about.
Well, so last year we talked about last podcast, but I just pretty much went on my back lawn and I sat in my lawnmower with my goalie gear on and just said, counting down the days until camp or something like that. And I got some love. A couple of retweets, but then this summer I put on all my gear and I sat in front of my pool in a nice chair and leaned back, soaking up some rays. And it kind of blew up. It was pretty crazy.
No, it was pretty crazy. TSN picked it up. I'm sure your phone must have been exploded.
Yeah, I got 200 new followers that day. It was pretty sweet.
Are you kind of, we talked about on the podcast last time, Morocco. Social media is becoming a really big part of all that, but it's going to be kind of taken to the next level in terms of not only the stuff that you tweet out or what your teammates tweet out, but the scouts, the media, and everything. There's going to be regardless of situations, whether it's good or bad, there's going to be people talking about Joe Ranger. Are you preparing yourself for that as well?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I definitely kind of thought of some rules. Try not to check your phone after games, that kind of thing. Just kind of soak it up. Honestly, it's going to be really cool. You definitely have to be careful what you say and that kind of thing. But I think I've kind of put in the work. Kind of practice myself, the interviews, that kind of thing. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about your you played in the HEO AAA league with Carleton Place. You got opportunities to play, Junior B as well. Talk a little bit about some of those experiences that you're able to take with you to Mississauga.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest part was I was really fortunate that we practiced pretty much every single day with Carleton Place.
Yeah.
And, we either had video session or a workout right after. So I think that's really going to help me kind of ease my way into the, the kind of the routine. And, getting called up with the Junior B squad was a lot of fun. I just sat on the bench, but I mean, it was still fun to kind of see, they get there like very early, kind of go through like the 20-minute warm up and then the breaks in between. And also at the Gold Cup, that really helped me as well because it was kind of like an intro to the OHL. So, we had the gear was all set up for us. We had, the really intense and technical stretching and warm up. So I think that all of those different scenarios will really help me, ease my way into the OHL and, play the best I can.
I always thought the OHL or like the CHL in general is a really interesting product because what you have is 16-year-olds and 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds playing in this league, and they're young, they're kids, you're all kids, but it has, like you mentioned a bit with the Gold Cup, there's like a pro atmosphere. It feels like a pro setting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you thought about that a little bit, that you're going into like an unusual situation where you're still a kid, but you're going to have to act like a pro? As much as you can?
Yeah, well, I definitely think I'm fairly mature, so I think that it'll be not easy, but, kind of normal for me to kind of act, manly, if give or take. So I think that, just coming into the league, I think it'll be like you said, like a pro experience. Like it's going to be just unreal, like I said before, like you're just going to be living the dream, and it's going to be, I think it'll be everything I've ever dreamed of.
Absolutely. What we talked about it a little bit, but I always love asking. I mean, you always said you always love to stop the puck. What was your first experience with goaltending where you were like, man, like the feeling of stopping a puck is the coolest thing ever?
It'd probably actually be mini sticks downstairs in the basement with my brother. I mean that's like that, and on my pond in my backyard. That's pretty much where it all began. I mean, I'd take my hat off, turn it inside out, and use it as a glove. And my brother would shoot little beanbags on me, and that's when I kind of said, like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. I'm not a very fast skater, so I might as well do this. And then, like I said before, a family friend gave me a goalie helmet, and I thought it was just the coolest thing in the world. Like I love the look of it. So, and then one thing led to another, and I was on the KRC with the Canadian tire pads on. And just on my first goalie session, and I loved it. I loved it ever since. What
kind of goaltender are the Mississauga Steelheads getting with Joe Ranger?
I think they're getting a mature goalie, definitely. I think I've been on the ice this summer with a lot of OHL, QMJHL junior guys. So I think that hopefully I'll be able to pick up the pace fairly quickly. I really think that. After a couple sessions, I'll be up to speed. So I think that they're going to get really consistent, and I'm going to try my best to help the team any way I can.
They're also going to get someone who loves doing interviews. I can tell you love doing interviews.
Yeah, they're the best.
It's part of the job, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's. I hate to say it, but I'd much rather practice interviews and stuff than kind of getting stumped and saying and like all the time.
No, absolutely. Have you what has been the kind of experience this summer in terms of preparing for Mississauga? Because you leave today, but what has that been like?
It's been a grind, honestly. Like I love working out in the gym, and it was perfect because I'd go on the ice with my goalie coaches, Matt Dopa, Charlie McTavish. And Paul Schoenfelder, and we would just, really work on kind of the technical side and, just kind of simplifying the game. Because definitely, like when you get older and in the CHL and up, it definitely gets a lot faster. And, I think it's important just to kind of settle down and go back to the basics. And And then in the gym, I've been really focusing on, kind of like the fine tips. So like my groin, my hips, and improving those little but very important aspects. And, just definitely got to get the cardio up because it's going to be a lot longer games and a lot longer season.
I wanted to ask you something. It's something I've noticed around. Maybe it's just the only time, like the only times I saw you wear it, but before games, I'd always see you wear the same sweater, and it looks like the biggest, thickest sweater I've ever seen. Is that like a superstition thing, and you have to wear that sweater? Because it kind of it's like huge.
Yeah, well, it's like I always wear the sweater and shorts, and I never wear a hat because one game I wore a hat and I didn't play very well, and it's the same thing. I wore a jacket, didn't play well. I wore like the splash pants, didn't play well. So it just kind of develops over time, and yeah, it's pretty convenient, nice and comfortable. I can fit my balls in my pocket.
It just seems really big,
Yeah.
and like, because every time I see you around the rink, you're wearing that.
Yeah.
Is it a specific? Is it a specific hoodie, or is it just you have to wear a hoodie?
Yeah, it's just the standard. Well, last season it was the standard commonplace one, so it was just it fit the role, I guess, and it was just comfortable and it worked.
Absolutely. A couple more questions before we wrap up. There, like you said, the OHL Cup and those experiences. How are you able to kind of not take those experiences for granted and just kind of go with the flow? Because it is a situation where you're growing, you know what I mean? And you're going to say, boom, drafted by Mississauga. And you can get all excited, but it could be a distraction. How are you kind of just like blocking out the noise to focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, I really just focused on myself and, just being as humble as possible because, just being grateful because, it's definitely a big accomplishment, but, it's just the beginning. So as soon as you get into the rink, you just got to focus on stopping that puck. And at the end of the day, that's all it comes down to. So I definitely think that with all those experiences, it was amazing, great, best time of my life. But, I definitely hope that there's better times to come. So just got to stay focused, keep your eye on the prize.
And you were a winning goaltender of a new game this summer.
Oh, yeah, PD beat Summer Classic.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
It was good.
It was what was the score? Like 10-7?
10-7. Team Spooner was victorious, 10-7 over Team Hutton. So,
yeah, that was a lot of fun.
No, absolutely. Well, Joe, thank you so much, man. Where can people follow you on social media? Where can they kind of keep up with you?
Yeah, my Instagram is JoeRanger36 and my Twitter is JoeRanger31.
Perfect, man. Well, seriously, I wish you all the best in
Thank
Mississauga,
you.
and just have fun, man. It's an exciting time.
Definitely will. It's gonna be awesome.
Perfect. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. That's where you will see also the old episode, Joe Ranger, Rocco Testabasi. You'll see that one there. Other content is available over there as well. Spotify, iTunes for the audio versions. Until next time, this is Joe Ranger and Peter Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.